What happens when someone steals Christmas gifts meant for foster children and refuses to return them? A police report might satisfy most people, but one foster parent decided nothing less than complete marital destruction would teach this Grinch the true meaning of consequences. Hello everyone, welcome back to Wow Amazing. In this video, we're exploring part 3 of our Extreme Stories of Revenge series, featuring tales that will make you question the limits of human creativity when it comes to payback. Before we start in, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our incredible content. Get ready for stories ranging from workplace psychological warfare to international revenge operations that will absolutely blow your mind. Number 10, the Pranksters Downfall. Let's start our countdown with a workplace revenge story that proves sometimes the best way to stop a bully is to become a master manipulator yourself. Tarzan worked alongside the prankster, a colleague who treated office pranks like an extreme sport. The prankster would sabotage important presentations by inserting inappropriate content, steal people's belongings, and generally make everyone's professional life miserable. Despite multiple warnings from management, the prankster continued her reign of terror. The prankster's biggest mistake came when she targeted Tarzan, who was extremely hungover from birthday celebrations. Tarzan reached for his water bottle and took several large gulps, only to discover it contained pure alcohol instead. As Tarzan violently became sick all over his workspace, the prankster erupted in laughter, showing zero remorse. That's when Tarzan decided to end the prankster's career permanently. Knowing the prankster was passionate about animal welfare and followed a strict plant-based lifestyle, Tarzan crafted the perfect psychological trap. Tarzan created fake missing pet flyers and distributed them around their workplace and nearby businesses, featuring a heartbreaking story about the lost dog. The prankster immediately fell for the deception, collecting the flyers and desperately asking the co-workers if anyone had spotted the lost dog. The next phase was brilliant. Tarzan purchased artificial animal fur, a pet collar, and corn-based fake blood. Early one morning, Tarzan decorated the prankster's vehicle to look like the scene of a tragic accident, complete with evidence that she had struck and killed the lost dog. When the co-workers discovered the scene and connected it to the missing animal posters, management confronted the prankster about the apparent incident. The prankster was completely devastated, genuinely believing she had accidentally killed the lost dog. The deception was so thorough that nobody questioned its authenticity. Overnight, the prankster became known as the dog killer, and Tarzan never corrected their assumptions. The prankster resigned shortly afterward, unable to handle the shame and guilt of what she believed she had done. Number 9, grandmother's strategic warfare. Never underestimate the revenge capabilities of elderly individuals, especially grandmothers who possess decades of life experience and patience. When visiting family, the grandchild noticed their grandparents' neighboring property was mysteriously vacant. Upon investigation, they learned about an epic tale of strategic revenge that would impress military strategists. The bad neighbors had been absolutely terrible people, loud, aggressive, and completely disrespectful. The situation escalated when the criminal son burglarized the grandparents' home, stealing valuable musical instruments from a prized collection before being arrested. Rather than learning from the criminal son's incarceration, the bad neighbors became even more hostile, eventually escalating to daily harassment campaigns against the innocent, the grandparents. The grandmother decided to take action using her most powerful weapon, knowledge of bureaucratic systems. The grandmother had observed that the bad neighbors lived in a rental property that hadn't received proper maintenance in years. With surgical precision, the grandmother contacted the housing authorities expressing concerns about the building's condition. When the official inspectors arrived, they immediately condemned the property as uninhabitable, forcing the bad neighbors to relocate within days. But the vindictive landlord discovered who had initiated the inspection and began driving past the grandparents' home regularly, shouting abuse and threats at the elderly couple. This proved to be the vindictive landlord's fatal mistake. The grandmother launched a systematic campaign, contacting every relevant government agency daily for weeks, filing detailed complaints about the abandoned property's safety hazards. Each call generated new fines and violations for the vindictive landlord, who stubbornly refused payment. When the accumulated penalties reached the court, the vindictive landlord ignored his hearing date, resulting in an arrest warrant. After months of being the fugitive, city officials finally lost patience. The demolition crew arrived and completely leveled the entire structure within a week. The grandmother had not only eliminated the bad neighbors, but ensured that specific location would never house problematic tenants again. Number 8. The Infestation Solution. Sometimes the most devastating revenge comes in the smallest packages, as one creative individual proved when dealing with an unfaithful partner. After discovering the cheating boyfriend's infidelity, the vengeful girlfriend decided against dramatic confrontations or emotional scenes, choosing instead a more subtle but infinitely more torturous approach. The vengeful girlfriend's solution? Ordering the live parasites online and introducing them to the cheating boyfriend's living space before ending their relationship. The tiny bloodsuckers are notorious for being nearly impossible to eliminate once they establish themselves in soft furnishings, and they leave their hosts covered in itchy, painful welts. The genius of this revenge lay in its long-term psychological impact. Every time the cheating boyfriend brought new romantic interest to his apartment, both parties would quickly develop mysterious, uncomfortable symptoms that made them appear diseased or contagious. Initially, this story seemed too bizarre to be believable. However, research revealed that numerous online retailers actually sell the tiny bloodsuckers, with some even offering subscription services for repeated deliveries. The psychological warfare was devastating. Not only did it make the cheating boyfriend's living situation unbearable, but it also sabotaged any future romantic relationships by making potential partners believe he carried infectious diseases. This revenge created a lasting consequence that would continue punishing the cheating boyfriend long after their relationship ended, making every intimate encounter a potential disaster. Number 7. The soldier's cold response. Military service requires tremendous sacrifice, making betrayal during deployment particularly heartbreaking and infuriating. The soldier was stationed overseas when the cheating wife's behavior began changing dramatically. Their regular communication became sporadic, and the cheating wife seemed increasingly distant during their limited conversations. The truth was revealed through a mistaken text message where the cheating wife addressed the lover as babe and offered to share food, while the soldier was thousands of miles away serving his country. When confronted, the cheating wife admitted to infidelity and they agreed to divorce upon the soldier's return. But the devastation deepened when the cheating wife announced her pregnancy with the lover's child. With remarkable restraint, the soldier watched helplessly as the cheating wife relocated to a distant state with the baby daddy, starting a family that should have been theirs. For months, the soldier focused on rebuilding his shattered life and emotional well-being. Then destiny provided an opportunity for perfect revenge. The desperate ex-wife called in distress, having fought with the baby daddy and finding herself without support or options. The desperate ex-wife was vulnerable, seeking help from the soldier whose life she had destroyed. The soldier's response was brutally simple: "That's not my problem." When the desperate ex-wife called again the following month with similar relationship troubles, the soldier responded with casual indifference before ending the conversation. The third call revealed the baby daddy was now cheating with multiple other women. The desperate ex-wife apologized profusely, admitted her mistakes, and begged the soldier to take her back. The soldier considered her plea for exactly 1 second before delivering his final verdict: never. Sometimes the most nuclear revenge is simply refusing to rescue someone from the consequences of their own destructive choices. Number 6. International parking justice. Urban parking disputes can drive people to extraordinary lengths, as one apartment dweller discovered when faced with an impossibly stubborn neighbor. The parking owner owned a designated parking space in his building, but arrived home to find the car thief's vehicle occupying it. After leaving a polite note requesting the car be moved, the parking owner discovered the message had been ignored. Investigation revealed the culprit was the upstairs neighbor, a female resident who lived above him. When the parking owner politely asked the upstairs neighbor to relocate her vehicle, she aggressively claimed ownership of his space. The upstairs neighbor explained that she was using her actual assigned space for storage and had decided the parking owner's spot was now hers simply because it had been temporarily vacant. The upstairs neighbor slammed her door in the parking owner's face when he tried to reason with her. The building management proved useless, claiming they couldn't intervene in the dispute. When the parking owner finally managed to park in his own space, he discovered the vandal had deliberately scratched deep gouges along his vehicle's paint job. This act of vandalism triggered the parking owner's decision to pursue nuclear revenge. The parking owner contacted the towing friend who operated a towing business, and together they formulated an audacious plan. Initially, they considered relocating the upstairs neighbor's car to a nearby town as punishment. Then inspiration struck. They would tow it to Madrid, Spain, nearly 400 miles away in a different country. The parking owner and the towing friend executed the plan perfectly, hauling the upstairs neighbor's vehicle across international borders and abandoning it in an illegal parking zone near the Spanish police station. To ensure it could never return, they removed the license plates entirely. 2 weeks later, the upstairs neighbor's car had vanished completely, and the parking owner finally had unrestricted access to his parking space. As an added bonus, he got to enjoy a lovely vacation in beautiful Madrid. Sometimes the best revenge involves turning a local problem into an international adventure. Number 5, Christmas karma. Few crimes are more despicable than stealing gifts intended for vulnerable children, but one foster parent discovered the perfect way to punish such heartless behavior. The foster parents regularly fostered disadvantaged youth and saved money throughout the year to provide these children with amazing Christmas celebrations. However, a shipping error resulted in all their carefully chosen gifts being delivered to their previous address. When the foster parents contacted the package thief at the current residence to collect the package thief callously refused to return them, keeping toys and presents meant for children who had already suffered tremendous hardships in their young lives. Enraged by this unconscionable theft, the foster father decided the package thief needed to learn about consequences in the most devastating way possible. After surveilling the apartment building to identify the package thief's vehicle, the foster father waited for darkness before implementing his revenge plan. Using eggs, black spray paint, and a sharp blade, the foster father decorated the car with graffiti suggesting infidelity, messages like cheater and homewrecker, along with cracked eggs scattered across the windshield and slashed tires. The brilliant psychological element was making it appear that the angry mistress had discovered the package thief's affair and taken revenge. When the foster father returned the following day to assess the results, both the car and the package thief had completely disappeared. The property looked like someone had been forcibly evicted, with personal belongings scattered across the yard. While the foster father couldn't confirm exactly what transpired, it appeared the package thief's wife had discovered the evidence of infidelity and expelled the package thief from their home. The foster father had successfully destroyed the package thief's marriage and living situation, providing the perfect Christmas justice for someone who stole from vulnerable children. Number 4, the sealed chamber. College dormitory life can be challenging under the best circumstances, but sharing space with a truly terrible roommate can become absolutely unbearable. The victim was paired with the rich brat, a wealthy student who received substantial financial support from her parents, but spent every penny on partying instead of basic necessities like food. Naturally, the rich brat compensated by stealing the victim's groceries and meals. Seeking refuge from this toxic living situation, the victim began staying at the grandmother's nearby residence most of the time. Upon returning to check the dormitory, the victim discovered the rich brat had moved in the additional friend, and together they had completely destroyed the room. The space was absolutely disgusting, but housing regulations held the victim responsible for the room's condition, regardless of who caused the damage. When semester-end cleaning requirements were announced, the victim informed the rich brat about the mandatory restoration work. The rich brat's response was a dismissive refusal to participate. While the rich brat was absent, the victim implemented a brilliant revenge strategy. The victim systematically disposed of every expensive item the rich brat had brought. Costly cosmetics, electronic devices, and various illegal substances found throughout the room. After thoroughly cleaning the space back to original condition, the victim opened every door in the room and applied industrial adhesive along each hinge mechanism. Once the housing inspectors approved the room's cleanliness, the victim closed each door, effectively sealing them shut with the hardened adhesive. Since the rich brat remained unaware that all her possessions had been discarded, she would need to break down the sealed doors to access the room. This would result in significant property damage charges being assessed exclusively to the rich brat. The revenge was perfectly executed. The rich brat lost all her expensive belongings and faced substantial repair costs for the doors she would be forced to destroy. Number 3, bureaucratic demolition. Sometimes the most satisfying revenge comes from government agencies wielding their regulatory power against people who think they're above the law. In London, the foreign investor purchased the historic tavern with plans to demolish it for a profitable apartment development. The historic tavern was a protected cultural landmark that had stood since 1920, built to replace an earlier establishment destroyed during wartime bombing. The foreign investor thought he could circumvent preservation laws by demolishing the historic tavern before the official protection status was finalized, believing this would clear the way for his development project. This proved to be a catastrophically expensive miscalculation. The government was absolutely furious about this destruction of cultural heritage and wanted to send an unmistakable message to other developers considering similar schemes. 1 month after the demolition, the authorities issued an extraordinary order. The foreign investor must rebuild the historic tavern exactly as it existed before destruction, using original materials wherever possible. This wasn't a suggestion or fine, it was a mandatory reconstruction requirement. The foreign investor had to salvage every brick from the demolition debris and reassemble them like the world's most expensive jigsaw puzzle. The rebuild timeline was strictly limited to 24 months, and no other construction would be permitted on the property until completion. When the foreign investor attempted to appeal this decision, his challenge was swiftly rejected. Additionally, the foreign investor's planning permission to convert upper floors into apartments was permanently denied. Reconstruction began in 2017, but wasn't completed until 2021. The entire project cost the foreign investor over $2 million, plus countless legal fees and administrative expenses. The British government had achieved the ultimate passive-aggressive revenge, forcing the foreign investor to undo their crime at enormous personal expense while preserving cultural heritage. Number 2, wedding day switcheroo. The most satisfying revenge stories often involve cheaters receiving their comeuppance in spectacularly ironic ways. The homeowner owned a house where she lived with the cheating fiancé until discovering his infidelity on Christmas Day. Shockingly, the cheating fiancé had informed everyone except the homeowner about the affair because he planned to leave but needed time to secure alternative housing. The other woman apparently wasn't willing to let the cheating fiancé move in with her. Despite being devastated, the homeowner handled the situation with remarkable grace, patiently waiting for the cheating fiancé to find somewhere else to live and vacate her property. 3 months later, the cheating fiancé was still freeloading in the homeowner's home with no apparent effort to relocate, clearly assuming he could maintain both relationships indefinitely. The homeowner tolerated this outrageous situation until the cheating fiancé began openly using dating applications in front of her with volume turned up, showing complete disrespect for her feelings and her home. This blatant disrespect triggered the homeowner's decision to pursue revenge through romantic retaliation. The homeowner began flirting with the best friend, the cheating fiancé's best friend, who would have been best man at their canceled wedding. Initially, this was purely strategic, designed to wound the cheating fiancé emotionally. However, the fake flirtation evolved into genuine attraction as the homeowner and the best friend discovered shared values and mutual disgust at the cheating fiancé's behavior. The revenge relationship became real, and the homeowner finally evicted the cheating fiancé from her house. With nowhere else to go, the cheating fiancé was forced to move back with his parents. 2 years later, the best friend proposed, and the homeowner accepted. What began as tactical revenge had transformed into authentic love and marriage. The cheating fiancé lost his best friend, his fiancé, his home, and his dignity in one perfectly orchestrated reversal of fortune. Number 1, the strategic divorce. Our top revenge story involves methodical planning and patient execution that would impress professional strategists. The husband noticed the cheating wife spending excessive time on her mobile device, which she claimed was just communication with female friends. The husband had no reason for suspicion until technology accidentally revealed her deception. While charging the family tablet, Facebook notifications began appearing on screen, revealing intimate conversations between the cheating wife and the lover. The cheating wife had forgotten to log out of her account on the shared device. Instead of confronting the cheating wife immediately, the husband spent days secretly documenting every message while maintaining normal behavior around her. The conversations revealed not only emotional infidelity, but also cruel mockery of the husband behind his back. The husband contacted legal counsel and began preparing divorce proceedings while the cheating wife remained completely unaware of his discovery. Fortune provided the perfect opportunity when the lover arranged a romantic weekend getaway. The cheating wife lied about having a spa retreat with the girlfriends, packed her bags, and left confidently. Hours later, the husband appeared at the hotel and calmly requested that the reception call the lover's room. When the lover answered, the husband demanded that the cheating wife come to the lobby. The lover initially denied knowledge, so the husband mentioned knowing about the lover's wife and threatened to contact her about the affair. The cheating wife appeared in the lobby, looking panicked and confused. The husband presented the cheating wife with a comprehensive folder containing 75 pages of printed message screenshots, revealing he had known about everything for months. The husband had already prepared separation agreements granting him full custody of the children, eliminating the cheating wife's child support, and restricting her to weekend visitation only. If the cheating wife refused to sign, the husband would distribute the evidence to her family, her workplace, and her social circle. The cheating wife signed within a week. The husband maintained appearances for the children's benefit and even agreed to marriage counseling, but ultimately proceeded with divorce after establishing the necessary legal documentation. Through careful planning and perfect timing, the husband achieved an optimal divorce settlement while protecting the children and his reputation. And there you have it, 10 more tales of vengeance that went far beyond getting even, straight into absolutely nuclear territory. From Tarzan's fake dog crime scene to the husband's masterful divorce strategy, these stories prove that when people are pushed past their breaking point, creativity and patience can be the most devastating weapons of all. Also, smash that like button, hit subscribe to Wow Amazing, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next video, where we'll bring you more stories of human nature at its most calculatingly vindictive. And if you know someone plotting revenge, share this video with them. It might just convince them to reconsider their approach or give them some truly diabolical inspiration. Which story was your favorite? Did the grandmother's bureaucratic demolition have you cheering? Or was it the parking owner's international car adventure to Madrid that impressed you most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. As always, stay kind, stay ethical, and remember, what goes around doesn't just come around. Sometimes it comes back with reinforcements and a detailed battle plan. This is Wow Amazing, signing off until next time.